Michael Jackson squirms, giggles, and quotes Jesus as he's quizzed about sexual assault allegations in this uncomfortable unearthed footage. The king of pop is seen being quizzed by lawyers about allegations of child sexual abuse in a video dated March 1, 1996. Then aged 37, the star is seen giggling, sighing, and shaking his head as he's asked a series of questions. The video has been brought back to the surface in the run-up to the release of controversial new documentary, Finding Neverland, which features interviews from the singer's former young friends, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who claim they were raped and sexually abused by the star. In this unearthed video, published by the Daily Mail, Michael is quizzed about Jordan Chandler, Brett Barnes, and Macaulay Culkin as part of a lawsuit filed by 5 Neverland employees who claimed they were wrongfully dismissed by Michael. The group had asked their lawyer to cross-examine Michael about his behavior and management practice at the ranch. A key argument from the group's lawyer, Michael Ring, is that Michael had threatened staff who allegedly saw him act inappropriately with children. Mr. Ring says, Mr. Jackson, in the latter portion of 1993, there were some allegations leveled at you concerning improper conduct with some young boys. I assume you're familiar with the fact that those allegations were raised. Michael laughs before the lawyer has finished talking, before telling him he's familiar with the allegations. The singer says he's aware of the grand jury investigations and that Neverland employees were subpoenaed to give evidence. Michael sits shaking his head as he's asked if he's aware of a person named Jordan Chandler, one of the boys he was accused of sexually abusing. Jordan, he asks, and a man off-screen tells him not to answer the question. Mr. Ring is told he cannot ask any questions about Jordan and asks why that's the case. As he asks for clarification on whether or not he's being instructed not to ask Michael any questions about Jordan, the singer holds a folder in front of his face before putting it down and yawning quite dramatically, holding his hand over his mouth. As Mr. Ring goes on asking about the Neverland employees, Michael fidgets with his hair and hat, sighs and shakes his head. He also quizzically raises his eyebrows. Then, when Michael is asked if he was ever accused of physically molesting Brett Barnes, his eyes widen before he sighs, twists his face and turns his head to the side. Again, the man off-screen can be heard saying, "Don't answer that." Michael covers his face with his hands and appears to be amused as he grins and looks off to the side before shaking his head from side to side repeatedly. The star lets out a small giggle as he's asked if he knows a person by the name of Macaulay Culkin. "Yes," he responds. Mr. Ring asked Michael if he was ever accused of molesting the Home Alone star and he's again instructed not to answer. Michael lifts his hands up and places them behind his head as he laughs, grins, and shakes his head at the question. The singer is then handed pieces of paper and asked if he recognizes the handwriting. He says it's his writing and that the documents are things he wanted to set straight in an interview. When asked who the interview would be with, he says, "I think it could have been Diane Sawyer, whatever the interview was that I wanted to do. I want to set the record straight. If people hear a lie long enough, people believe it. People have lied on me. I'm a black American and proud of it, and I'm honored of it. The bleached skin rumor, which is a rumor, I don't bleach my skin. They say I once said I wanted a white kid to play me as a child, which was a rumor, an inauguration rumor saying I didn't want to do President Clinton's inauguration. I'm not gay. This is, don't judge a person unless you have spoken to them one-on-one, which is true, because what you hear is a lie. I can't make out this part." Continuing to read from the paper, he adds, "And Jesus said to love the children and be like children, be youthful and be innocent and be pure and honorable. He was talking to his apostles and they were fighting over who was the greatest amongst themselves, and he said, whoever humbled themselves like this child is the greatest among me, and he always surrounded himself with children, and that's how I was raised to believe and to be like that, and to imitate that. So I don't know what you're trying to make out of it." He adds, "I made a list of things. When I get angry enough I write down what I want to say and what I want to talk about to set the record straight. You just get to a point where you get tired of people lying. I get tired of situations like this, where people will completely lie on me and I'm sick of it.